Damn, son.
Guys, Thetcglover here. How we doing today? So today's video, if you haven't already seen the title, you probably already come onto this video because you've already seen the title, is Kozmo currently overhyped. Kozmo is a TCG archetype which recently debuted in Clash of Rebellions, making it an incredibly new archetype. So Jeff Jones recently won a 5-round ARG tournament. He took Kozmos in its current state to a tournament that had 5 rounds, which is like 15 players, and he managed to win the tournament. Players, when they see a really good player like Jeff Jones or Patrick Hoban or Billy Brake, when they win a tournament with a deck, they push the prices up super high. Jeff Jones, he can take a shit and into his hand, give it to the player base, and the player base will eat it thinking it's Nutella. Let's take a quick look at the prices of the cards that we currently need in the deck to function. So Ghost Ogre is currently going for around $62 each on average over across Amazon, eBay, different other sites like that. You need to have 3 of them ideally for the deck to be at its best. Kozmo Farm Girl, a card that you definitely need to run at 3 in its current state, is going for over $70 each. So therefore, you need to be spending over $200 just to get 3 copies of a card which you need to run in the deck. Forerunner, Slip Rider, and Cosmotown, the 3 rares of the archetype, they were going for roughly around $1 for free. But now, because of the hype, they're going for around $1 or $2 each. So if you want to pick up 3 Slip Rider, 3 Forerunners, and 3 Cosmotown, you're going to be sending yourself back around $10, which is kind of a lot considering that they are just rares. Cosmo Goodwitch, arguably the worst card currently existing in the archetype and is a super rare, is actually been spiking to roughly around $8 to $9 each, which means that you're going to have to be forking over around $20 to pick up just 3 of a card that is a super rare and it's not even really that good for the archetype, but you just kind of need it to make the deck function right now. Other cards like Emergency Teleport, from the lowest rarity one, which is from the Secret Rare from 5D's collection, is going for roughly around $30 on average, which means $90 because the deck definitely needs you to run 3. And of course, we're not going to be seeing another reprint until October, so the card may increase in price considerably up to the point of maybe the end of September. Even crappy cards like Overdrive Teleporter, which everyone has already regarded to be a really crappy card for the archetype, has already spiked and increased in price up to around $15 each. You would never play more than 1 of these, and most people don't play it at all, have never even bothered to look at it, even though it gives you 2 Farm Girls, which is a pretty cool little OTK there. But that is really, really crap, and don't play your deck like that. You should be playing the deck the way it plays, rather than trying to put in crappy cards like Overdrive Teleports trying to make it work. Overall, to collect the absolute necessary cards, we're talking Ghost Ogre, Emergency Teleport, Farm Girl, Slip Rider, Forerunner, Cosmotown, and Goodwitch. If you want to pick up all of these cards, just so you can play the deck at its bare minimum, without any other staples, without any other extra deck, you're going to be having to fork over $300, even more than that at this point. You're going to be seeing $400, a hell of a lot of money considering that a deck literally just came out a week ago. The reason why I'm contesting this current price of the deck is because it actually has a fair amount of problems. This is obviously just my opinion, but honestly, I feel like the deck really isn't competitive at the moment. Just because Jeff Jones can take a deck and win a small tournament with it does not justify a almost 100% increase in their prices. It does not make any sense considering that I have played the deck myself. Many people have gone onto Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro and gone onto Dueling Network and have played the deck for themselves, and they can see that it has OTK potential. It has the potential to be very floaty in the way that it kind of dies and then brings back another one or brings another one from the deck. It has the potential to be very strong, but does it really justify $400? I mean, Necros managed to go higher than that, but Necros is by far way more powerful than a deck like Kozmo. I mean, Necros against Kozmo, Necros will win almost every time. Trishula is just too strong against a deck like that. Even the Synchro Trishula exists now, so even decks that can make that one will have an instant benefit against Cosmos. And of course, at this current state, because the deck only has 5 cards, that means that the deck has a lot of really bad flaws. Stuff like Good Witch is a really weak card compared to the rest of the archetype. Slip Rider is pretty strong, but if in terms of a tier, in terms of a ranking system in the actual archetype itself, Cosmo Town is the strongest card in the deck by far. And then it goes Farm Girl, then it goes Forerunner, Slip Rider, then Good Witch. So Good Witch is the most likely card to be taken away. But it's also the card which Konami will most likely be able to attend to when it comes to actually releasing new support in the next set, Dimension of Chaos, and the ones that come after that. They can actually improve the deck while allowing you to keep playing the same cards. So chances are Good Witch is going to be phased out by a different level 4, and you're actually starting to see a shift in how the deck functions, and cards like that will just drop off because they're just not very good, but you are obligated to play it. So you're currently playing the deck at it's not really at its most optimal, and you're not going to see its most optimal until maybe the set after Dimension of Chaos, when it has roughly around 10 to 12 different archetype cards. So you can actually start mixing and matching and actually seeing how the deck functions by what Konami says is the way that it should be played. So right now it's being played because it has to be played that way, but really we're going to start seeing a change. The deck loses to a lot of side cards and main outs. The two that I picked in my opinion is going to be Imperial Iron Wall, which completely kills off the deck, right? It completely shuts it down. It's like Ritual Beast, okay, and Infernoids, which are two decks that are still currently played in our meta games. Imperial Iron Wall is already sided against Ritual Beast and Infernoid, and therefore it's not too far of a stretch to see it being sided for Cosmos, because it turns all of the little girls into vanillas and it turns the big guys into things that don't float anymore. So the fact is that if you just stop the loop from happening, then the deck just crumbles because you start seeing horrible hands, and you have to be using Cosmo Town constantly to try and find an MST, and you're costing yourself a lot of time and effort and consistency of the deck. Stuff like Imperial Iron Wall and even stuff like Light Imprisoning Mirror, which is another one that I picked, I really feel like both of those cards in tandem really do hurt the deck a hell of a lot. The fact is you get to side in 6 cards that can kill off the deck instantly at its current state. And the last thing I feel is Farm Girl's requirement to need to do battle damage is one thing that's really going to set the deck back a lot. I just don't feel like a 1500 card, which is necessary for the deck to function, and you have to get a successful battle damage done. A lot of decks, anything that's bigger than 1500 and the card is useless. Okay, you're going to have to hope that you have Slip Rider, you have to hope that you have Forerunner for you to be able to tribute and actually get out a big monster to get over their cards, because Farm Girl at its current state is kind of a neg-1 unless you manage to successfully do battle damage. It's just really iffy. Every card is really iffy. I've played it and I have seen the loop be broken by cards like Trishula, and I've realized that after that point I can't do a single thing and I have to wait another turn, and I haven't got a turn to spare. So I lose instantly because the deck just kind of crumbles under its own weight at this point, including Farm Girl. If Farm Girl is relied on too much, and the game just progresses and gets more and more power creeps, the deck's dependence on Farm Girl to be able to do battle damage, to actually keep searching Cosmo cards to actually get you further in the game state, is actually going to make the deck fall under its own weight. So anyway, those are my opinions on the deck, and I currently do think the deck is incredibly overhyped. I wasn't really expecting to see it go beyond $200 because I knew there was going to be some hype, but the deck has been hyped up to shit right now. And in my opinion, I don't think you should be touching the archetype. I don't think you should be wait until the regional season comes around and we actually start seeing proper YCSs where there's going to be hundreds, even 1,000 or more people coming to these tournaments with Cosmo, and coming to the tournament with Ignites, and coming with 4 mages, and coming with lots of old archetypes, and starting to see how what actually happens and how the new decks fare. At the moment, don't touch the deck, and I think you're going to start to see a decrease in price once everyone starts to realize that Jeff Jones just hyped it, and that's it. So thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to give me a like, comment, subscribe, and everything like that. So thanks for watching. Until next time, guys, Thetcglover is out.